Hello, I am reviewing a pretty popular beer from Battery Steel, Flume Double IPA. I've reviewed their Flume Squared, which honestly I prefer to the regular Flume. This uses like their standard house yeast. Flume Squared uses a different one, but this one's super popular. Now it's getting distributed often around Boston. Um, and it's 8% alcohol. This one was canned about 2 weeks ago. And it uses Citra Mosaic hops. And it's real hazy. But let's get to the bottom of this one. A lot of people think this beer is really great and really love it. And it is pretty good. It's not quite to my tastes. Deep hazy orange. Head looks pretty good. Yeah, looks like a hazy double IPA. That smells quite nice too. It's definitely dank. It has some creamsicle-y notes, definitely lime and citrus and stuff happening. When you really inhale, there's some very peachy, pineapple-y, juicy stuff going on. But there's a little bit of a menthol thing. It smells a little bit spicy. I almost would think there were some kind of Australian hops, or at least Southern Hemisphere hops going on in this beer, but there aren't. It's just Citra and Mosaic. The flavor, I find a lot less fruity than the smell. Quite spicy and mentholy. It's definitely very flavorful, but that's why I don't like this as much. Flume Squared is a different yeast strain that brings out the fruitiness of the hops a little better, I think, whereas this one, for some reason, it's highlighting the extra dank, spicy green qualities of the hops. And if you like that sort of thing, all for it. Like a lot of people, this is what they like in their IPAs. But it's just that menthol quality that really, it lingers, and not quite toothpaste, but almost minty, you know? And I'd rather it be, less earthy and spicy and minty and more fruity, honestly. Or like more of a different kind of dankness. The mouthfeel is pretty good. Not super soft, not gigantic, but big enough for a hazy 8% IPA. And there are no off flavors. The yeast seems to be happy. This is just what this yeast does. It seems like I prefer all of the Battery Steel beers that use a different yeast strain, like On-Site Number 7, which is now called Vagabond Dreamer. I did a review of that. I really like that one. That uses their newer yeast strain. That one even does use Civic Secret hops, which can give a lot of greener qualities to the beer. But the yeast strain just makes it work. I feel like that yeast strain also makes their beers a little bit softer and fuller with the mouthfeel. This one, it's just very spicy and astringent, and there's a little bit of throat burn building up, which I don't mind a little bit of that, but it's just a little bit too harsh. I want it to be a little more luscious, which often with a lot of these hazy IPAs, I'm saying I want it to be drier and spicier also often. But it's good. It's just your tastes basically, and it's really interesting to try this. I should try this next to Flume Squared eventually, and really tease out exactly how they're different. With Flume Squared, I think they do add an extra dry hopping round of like lupulin powder, which also that's kind of a way to get a lot of fruitiness into a beer. This one, I don't believe they do the extra round of lupulin powder. That's really good, and you can even pick this up at like Total Wine for only like 16 bucks or something like that, $16-17, which for a double IPA, of this quality, is a pretty good deal. I think it probably beats what is it, the Toppling Goliath. Their double IPAs and IPAs in general are, you don't see them that fresh anymore, and the quality is greatly varying. All right, well, that's it.